the. All right, let's go ahead and get started. If you can hear me in the chat, go ahead, say okay. Let's see if this is gonna work. Your phone's right there. Give me an A. Oh my gosh. There's kind of a little bit delay between my streaming software and this live stream. So if I have a little bit of a delay to your questions, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead. Everybody get out your study guide. I'm going to pull up mine on my computer. Where do you guys want to start? Say in the chat, what questions do you guys have about the study guide so far? Have you even looked at it? Do you feel ready for the test based on what you see? What do you want to talk about? Just number one, like just question number one. First one, everything. Part two, the first question. Wait, there's a study guide. I handed out the study guide on Thursday and Friday. If you don't have a copy of the study guide, I have it on Canvas. Okay, it's under Unit 3. Let's not spam the chat. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, I'm pulling up my study guide right now. All right. Come on. Look at the study guide, guys. Get out your study guide. I'm pulling mine up right now. Okay, Unit 3 study guide. Here, I'm gonna fix some stuff on my computer real quick. Move some stuff around. Okay. Let's see. One sec. Sorry, just getting things pulled up. Miss Hills? Who's Miss Hills? You mean Mrs. Holmes? Mrs. Holmes, yeah, this study session will help you too. I don't know if she gave you guys a study guide, but I know this study session is going to help you guys too if you're in Mrs. Holmes' class or Mrs. Reinhardt's class, okay? All right, let's go ahead. Start with question number 1. It says, human skin color can change in response to environmental changes, i.e. getting a sunburn or suntan. However, the root cause of our skin color is genetic and comes from our ancestors. UV radiation causes damage to the DNA in our cells and can lead to various forms of cancer. Okay, so as you'll see right there, there's a little graphic right there. It shows you the latitudes of the globe. All right, shows you the latitudes of the globes and of the globe and skin color in those areas. So you'll see Africa, Australia, people there have a lot darker skin color. People in Europe, Canada, those places have much lighter skin, okay? So, like I said, this is either on paper or on the computer. You can get it um, on Canvas if you're in my class, okay? So, question number 1 says, explain the relationship between skin color and latitude. Use evidence from the picture. Why are skin color and latitude associated? So this question is asking you, okay, look at the graph. What's the relationship between the two? I want you to use evidence, okay? What do we notice? Do people have darker skin more northern, or do they have darker skin at the equator? What do you see? And according to what you read right there in the question, okay, why are skin color and latitude related? Okay, and you're gonna write that 3 to 5 sentences, okay, on that part right there. Any questions about that so far? I'll give you guys a minute. Like I said, my live stream, I don't know why, it's just delayed right now. Okay. Anybody have questions? Questions, guys, questions. If you don't have any questions, say I'm good. Okay. All right, let's just move on. Okay, so an answer I would put for something like this is I would say that people closer to the equator have darker skin color. All right. According to the graph, we see that people in Africa, um, Central America, Australia have darker skin color than those that are farther from the equator. So, and then explaining why skin color and latitude are associated. Going back to the explanation in the answer, we can see the root cause of our skin color is genetic and comes from our ancestors. Okay, so it is possible that natural selection over time has selected for people with darker skin color to survive and be better fitted to those environments that are closer to the equator. Okay. Also, the study guide is not due. Okay, this is just optional. This isn't homework. This is just something that will help you a lot to prepare for the test on Wednesday. Okay. Skin color and latitude, the difference. Latitude is the horizontal lines on the globe. Okay. Miss Kirkman might have taught you that in Utah Studies. It's the horizontal lines on the globe that, you know, you have 20 degrees north, equator, 20 degrees south. That's what latitude is. Skin color is just the skin color of your skin. Okay. So, question number 2, or question 2 of, or part 2 of question 1 says natural selection is the process where organisms that are best suited to their environment survive and pass on their genetic traits in increasing number to successive generations. So, how does the picture above show natural selection is taking place? Okay, like I explained before, something that I would say is we see that it is possible that those closer to the equator, um, what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Natural selection has taken place because those with darker skin are more suited to the environment at the equator because the sunlight is directly hitting on them more, okay, than those with lighter skin at the northern latitudes, okay? So it's just a matter of being best suited to the environment. So people with darker skin are better suited to the environment near the equator than those with light skin, okay? Again, if you have any questions as we're going along through this, just type it in the chat. I'll get it to it as soon as I see it. Yeah, let's keep going. So, question 2, part 1. Use this diagram of the history of camel evolution to identify patterns. All right. My goodness, you guys. All right. So, question 2, part 1. Use this diagram of the history of camel evolution to identify patterns. So, we've got, there's 5 camels here, but I'm just going to be ignoring that first one in the Paleocene era or period. Where's the era? I don't know. So, genus 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the first genus in the Eocene, 54 million years ago, Pobrotherium. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Next one is Oxydactylus. Third is Procamelus. And fourth is Camelus. Yes, I do like to be comfortable, Bronx. Thank you. So we can see in the Eocene, it's 54 million years ago. Next, we have 33 million years ago fossils. Third, we have fossils from 23 million years ago, and then the last, the Camelus, we're looking at camels in this present time. Okay, so part 1 of this question says, using the diagram above, identify 3 observable patterns of change over time in the camel. Okay, what are 3 observable patterns of change over time that you notice in the camel? In the chat, I want you to write that down. Okay, tell us what are 3 different things that you observe changing over time. If you can just see 1 or 2, then just say that. Okay, what do you see changing over time? He gets thick. Can you please say that in a more scientific way, Hudson? Okay, good. Cabbage Patch Kid. Okay, legs get longer, right? Hump got bigger on the back. Okay. In the beginning, it just looked like a deer or something, but we see the hump getting bigger over time, and we also see the neck getting longer and more curved, right? Okay. Kind of got darker. Um, yeah, we could see the fur pattern changing. I'm not really sure how we know the fur pattern changed, but yeah. Um, Again, we're on question 2, part 1. We're doing the observable patterns of change over time. Okay, so that's good. That's 3 things we talked about. So we see they're getting bigger, skull's getting bigger, legs are getting longer, they're getting taller. Okay, there's a hump, curved neck. Good. So that would just be 3 things that you see changing over time. I would recommend writing in complete sentences on the test. That just looks better. Okay, and it's easier for me to grade. Camelus animal obtains more mass over the time that it passes. Thank you, Hudson. Much more scientific. Fatter. Yeah, I guess you could say it's fatter. Uh, Bigger hump gets old. Well, I'm not sure if I would say it gets older. I'm not sure I would say it gets older. Let's keep going. Let's go to part 2. Look at the pictures of the fossils found at the farm using the history of the horse. No, that should say history of camel. Using the history of the camel diagram, determine the relative age of the fossils. Okay, the relative age of the fossils is between blank and blank million years ago. Okay, I want you to tell me right in the comments what's the answer to part 2 of question 2. Can they get shorter or longer? It all depends on their environment. Remember, natural selection is about um, those that are adapted to the environment live and are able to reproduce, and those that aren't die off. So it all depends on their environment, but like I said, what we can tell from the fossils here is that they got bigger and over time, bigger and taller. Okay. All right. Again, what's the answer to question 2, part 2? Based on what you see in the diagram, what's the answer? Perfect. Thank you, Bryson. 65 million years ago to present. We can see the oldest fossils we have are from 65 million years ago, and the newest bones we have are from present. Okay, thank you very much. You could say 23 million years ago if we're talking about fossils. Um, the question will be more clear than that, but I would accept either one of those, 65 or to present or 65 to 23 million. Um, good, good, good. All right, moving on to part three. Moving on to part three, you're going to graph the data from the table below in the form of a bar graph. So I gave you again, like I listed up top, the height of each type of camel. It shouldn't say horse. I don't know why it says horse. Each type of camel, all right, and how tall each of them were. And then you're going to make a bar graph showing, okay, you're going to compare the heights of each of those. And any questions on that? I'll just let you guys do that on your own. I'm not going to fill out the bar graph for you. That should be pretty easy. Any questions? Okay, Bronx for keeping this on topic. Okay. Easy. You guys think this is easy so far? That's good. Seems like you'll be prepared for the test then. No questions so far? We good? Okay, all right, let's move on. So part 4 of question 2. Do you think that the bar graph you made proves that species change over time? Agree or disagree, and then explain why you agree with the bar graph, or agree or disagree that the bar graph shows changes in species over time. Okay, give 2 reasons why you made that conclusion. Use complete sentences. I'm going to give you guys a minute. Type in the chat. Do you agree or disagree? And give 2 reasons. Okay, 2 reasons why. Go. Remember, right now you should be putting in the chat. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Give 2 reasons. Support your claim. Okay, Cabbage Patch Kid. Agree because it got larger and began at 0.9. Okay. Okay, so that's one reason. We saw a change over time. We saw the height changing over time. Okay, I would add a second reason to that, Cabbage Patch Kid. All right. What else? What else, guys? What else? Okay, agree. If it didn't show change, they would have been the same height. Good. Okay. Remember, 2 reasons, not just one, but give 2 reasons. Anything else, guys? Just 3 of you guys gonna write? All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so that was question 2. It's a lot to that one. Let's go to question 3. So, question 3 says the above fossils of an extinct mammal were discovered by paleontologists in Pakistan in 1994. Okay, so 46 million years ago. All right, that's a picture of the fossils we're going to be looking at. Um, so, part 1, similarities and differences. You're going to list the anatomical similarities and differences between the fossil above and other species listed in the table below. So I've got a picture of an opossum skeleton. We also have a dolphin. We have a devil skeleton. Oh, I've never heard of that before. And we have an otter shrew skeleton. So you're going to look at those fossils, and like I said, what are some differences in their body? What are some similarities in their body between them and that ancient fossil we're looking at? Okay, you've got a table down on the next page. It says similarities between fossil and other organisms, and differences between fossil and other organisms. Okay, you're going to fill in those three. All right, so let's take 2 minutes real quick. Similarities between fossils, that fossil and the other organisms, and the differences between the fossil and the other organisms. List it in the chat below. Okay, what are some similarities and differences? Okay, all right. Sorry, Bronx, no more. You lost your chat privileges. Okay, so the picture showed that jaw shape changed. What else, guys? Okay, the opossum has a similar head shape. All of the animals have tails and fingers. Only the dolphin can swim in the water. Good. Good, good. What else, guys? Yes, we're comparing the Pakistani fossils to the others. Yes, Bryson. We're on question 3, part 1. Okay, let's be a little more specific. Okay, they all have a similar shape. What else? All right, opossum and devil had similar legs. We're not looking at that. We're not comparing the modern organisms yet. We're still comparing just modern organisms to those fossils, the ancient organisms. The second table, okay, is now we're going to list the differences between the modern organisms, okay, all of the organisms except the fossils. So you're going to do another 3 for similarities and another 3 for differences. That's just between those modern organisms, okay? With the first table, we're saying, okay, what's the difference between the modern organisms and that fossil? But now in the second table, we're just going to say, okay, what's the similarities and differences between those animals we have now? Let's ignore the fossils in that second table. But what are the differences and similarities we have now? Okay, let's read some more of what you guys have. All of them are mammals. Okay, how do we know all of them are mammals? Can we know that the Pakistan fossil was of a mammal? Oh yeah, because it says so. Okay, so you're right, Keegan. Yeah, they're all mammals. The mystery animal and the dolphin have similar spine shape. Good. Similar legs. They all have some form of tail. Good. Okay. All right, so that's just similarities and differences. You're going to be writing. Make sure on the test that you fill in all of the box. Okay. Make sure you fill in all of the box. Okay, going to part 2 of the test. Um, we're going to explain and infer. To infer means to make a conclusion based on evidence. So in this section, explain and make inferences, which means to make a conclusion based on evidence, about why there are similarities between organisms and what these similarities suggest. All right? You need to write a paragraph on this, guys. All right? Several sentences, 3 to 5 sentences, if not more. Okay? Write something in the chat for me right now. I'll give you a few minutes just to write something up, share it with everyone, and write it down in your study guide as well. Remember, if you have questions as we go along, just remember to tell me. Ask in the chat, I'll get to it. We've got plenty of time still. I'll be here for another 30 minutes if you have questions to go over. All right, let me put this pillow. Ugh. We're on question 3, part 2, guys. Let me see if I can do something. Whoa. Ooh, look at me. Let's see. Here we go. This is the part we're on right now, guys. Okay, so if we all come from common parents and only change when it is proved helpful, that means that these animals that look alike came from an early parent and lived nearby. Okay. Okay, good. That's a good answer. They're all similar because they come from the same organism. But how can we tell they come from the same organism? How can we tell that there's evolution happening? Oops. I'm just waiting for you guys to explain a little more. I just brought this up so you guys can see the study guide, the part we're looking at. Okay, what questions do you guys have? No questions? I'm trying to slow down because it seemed like you guys wanted me to slow down. I'm just waiting for you guys to give more answers because the only answers I have are from Hudson and Dylan. No questions? All right. Part 3 says develop a model. Okay. So that means you're going to draw a picture showing why there are similarities between organisms and what these similarities suggest. So, like we talked about evolution, natural selection taking place. Okay, these animals have a common ancestor. So, you would just draw a picture of how that happens. Okay, just draw a picture of how that happens. That's what you're going to do in your study guide. All I have is that they probably live nearby if they have a common ancestor from the parent. There are similarities because, for example, bears that live in the poles have white fur because it could blend in. Okay. All right, so that's good evidence, Bryson. What I would suggest is just linking it to evidence that I've given you up here. Okay. So refer back to this stuff that we've talked about in your answer. Okay. We've all come from common ancestors. Okay. They could have passed their traits on to often match if the greatest timeline. Except that their genetic information is similarities. Okay. So just remember in your answer, let's link it back to, okay, the things we talked about, the evidence that I've given you to analyze, the data that I've given you to analyze. Okay. Again, like I've said in class, um, I'm not going to put this on the rubric, but in your study guide, I gave you the rubric that. Did I say rubric? I'm not going to put this on your test, but in your study guide, I put the rubric of how I'm going to grade these questions on your test on Wednesday. Okay? So make sure you're looking at that rubric just to see what you need to be able to do and how you need to be able to do it on the test on Wednesday. Okay? Any questions about this? It seems like we've gotten here a little bit early, so we might wrap up early. Um, Unless you guys have more questions, I'm still available for another half hour. I just don't think it'll be helpful for you guys to stare at my face for like 30 minutes. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes just in case anybody has questions. What would you draw? Something I would draw. It's kind of hard to draw on here though. Can I do a drawing? Let's see if I can do a drawing. Let's see. Let's get my tools up. Scribble. Something I would draw, and just take in mind I would expect something better on the test, but I can't do a lot because I'm just using my trackpad on the laptop. But what I would suggest is drawing something like how, okay, we have this fossil, okay, this organism, okay, change is happening in time. Remember that that can be mutations over time slowly occurring in the population, okay? Okay, this is going to help it become more adaptive from that, which is how we have um, these new organisms like the um, dolphin or rabbit. I don't remember what the picture was. Okay, something like that is what I would draw. But take in mind, I would expect something a lot better than this because you have a pencil and I'm just drawing on a trackpad. Family tree thing. Yeah, that would work. Okay, that would be a good drawing. Okay, family tree. I would suggest writing things with your picture too, just so you can explain what's going on in the picture. Where is Sam? Sam's taking a nap right now. Yes, a family tree showing natural selection would be great. Okay, tree of life, yeah. This would just be, yeah, just kind of like a rudimentary tree of life. Okay, you don't need to be an artist, but I would expect something better than this on my trackpad. All right. Who's Sam? Sam is my son. Okay, what other questions do you guys have right now? What other questions, guys? What other questions? I would hope that your drawing looks better than spaghetti. Okay, guys, we're talking about science right now, not my son. The chicks have been taken home by their new owners. I didn't take any. Okay, mine is a train reek. Okay. Make sure you're practicing this, okay? Because I'm going to ask you to do something similar on the test. How much should we write? In these sentences right here, write a paragraph, okay? Okay, make sure you fill in all the boxes as much as possible. All right. The test is not multiple choice. The test is not multiple choice. The test will be almost very similar to the format of the study guide, okay? I'm taking things from moving from multiple choice, moving towards doing performance assessments where you guys have to actually think and show me that you really understand what's going on instead of guessing, okay? The test is about the same length of the study guide here. For some good points to put, just kind of what guys said in the chat, you guys, um, the shape of the skull being similar, um, the uh, the uh, the forelimbs, okay, the of the dolphin being similar to the fossil, the tail of like I don't know, you could say like the tail of the shoe skeleton is similar, something like that. The test has 3 questions like this, but it's divided into separate parts like the study guide. Okay? The study guide is very similar to the test. Other questions? Other questions, guys? Are there any questions I haven't answered? Nothing. Yes, the test will be in a similar layout. Okay? The test will be in a similar layout. I'm going to take away this screen right here. No, this one. I'm going to take away that one. Yeah. Okay. Similar layout, yeah. Study guide is very similar to the test. Um, we are taking the test on Wednesday. Thursday, if you need to finish the test, if it was too long for you, um, I will have some extra time on Thursday. So don't stress too much, okay? But do your best on Wednesday, okay? Wednesday, thanks. The test is not multiple choice. The test is in almost the same format as the study guide. Green packet, I would ask that you turn it in on Monday. However, the quarter deadline is January 9th. So just get in your green packet ASAP, please. What else you guys got for me? I'll wait. I'll wait, my dudes. Nothing. Is the study guide due? No, the study guide is not due. I've got 15 more minutes. I'm free, so I can end it early though if nobody has any more questions. Thank you guys. Thank you. Good. I'm glad this was helpful for you guys. Okay. Remember, you can come back and watch this later. Yes, the test is on Wednesday. Okay, it doesn't seem like anybody has any more questions, so I'm going to be ending in 2 minutes. You should play some Minecraft. I don't think I'm going to have time to play Minecraft. I'm sorry. I've got a lot of stuff going on today. No Minecraft today. Video come out next. Alright, let's do it tomorrow morning. Okay, yes, the graph will be on the test. You'll have a graph to do on the test. Like I said, study guide is very similar to the test. So, let's see, where are we at? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream now. I'll be in the chat for another 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Yep, I'm gonna end the chat now, and I'm gonna end the stream now. I'll be in the chat for another 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Thanks for coming in, guys. I appreciate it, and I will see you on Monday. Okay. Good luck.